Today I'm back at Woodlawn Memorial Park Cemetery in Nashville, Tennessee, and as you can see from the sign I just passed, I'm in the section of the cemetery called Everlasting Life, and I'm looking for the gravesite of a country music legend, Porter Wagoner. Porter Wagoner was a singer, a songwriter, and a musician. He would play the guitar, in case you haven't noticed on some of his videos or seen him in person or anything, that he played the guitar. But he also had a television show, the Porter Wagoner Show, and that TV show would run for like 21 years. Porter Wagoner's show would run from like 1960 to 1981. It is been started out with being in black and white, but over the years, as times changed, the show would be produced in color. And he had several singers on his show that were female singers. And of course, the most popular one is Dolly Parton, probably, that everybody remembers him for. But over the years, he had some before Dolly Parton and some after Dolly Parton that were women singers on there with him that would usually do a duo singing, and he always had like a usually a guest star that come on the show. And one of the first before Dolly females that he had was Norma Jean Beasler, and Dolly even made the comment she was afraid that she wouldn't be accepted when after Norma Jean left the show, that she would be accepted on his show because Norma Jean was so popular. But as we well know, Dolly was very well accepted. Well, as you can see, I've started it back again from the bottom of the hill to Porter's grave, as I needed to go back to the car for something. But anyway, we'll head back up the hill to take a closer look at it. And if you'll notice there, kind of to the left at the very top of the hill, is a statue of like Jesus at the well, thus giving this the everlasting life section of the cemetery's name. Porter was born in West Plains, Missouri, as well as one of his band members, and was born in the same town, and that would be Speck Rhodes, which was a comedian and a bass player in the band, and also a good friend of Porter's. And I've already done a video showing Speck's grave, which is in a different cemetery. But Porter was born in, like I said, in Missouri, and his parents were Bertha May and Charles Wagoner. Porter's dad was a farmer, and I've also mentioned that Porter was the fifth of their children that they had, so he was the youngest child in the family. Of course, fans will remember Porter Wagoner by his flashy suits that he wore, and he was really bright colors. A lot of them would be like pink, a bright, maybe a mint or a pale green. I mean, he wore just really bright suits, and they had a lot of sequins and all on it. But you know, some of the things that and of course they'll always remember him by his pompadour type blonde hair that he had. But a lot of people won't remember that Porter Wagoner being a songwriter. But in 1953, a song called Trademark, that Porter was a co-writer of, became a #1 hit for Carl Smith. And so I'm giving you a look at the three graves here of the Wagoner family. It's Porter, his wife, and his son. And we'll take a closer look at each one of those, but just kind of giving you also a look at, there's buildings there to the right, and it's just below the big tree, a few down. But also, again, from seeing the statue, you come on down, and it's on the right side of that, where that statue is, in between that statue and that tree. So let's take a closer look at what's on Porter and his wife and his son's graves. A couple of Porter's #1 hits was Misery Loves Company and A Satisfied Mind, even though he didn't write either one of those. But as you can see from his marker here, it's got some Bible verses listed at the top. Of course, it has his birth date and death date on it, and Porter was 80 years old when he died, and he would die from lung cancer. It also tells that he was a son, brother, husband, father, papa, and a great papa. And it said, I've left this old world with a satisfied mind. So that kind of throws back to his song. And it's at the bottom, it's talking about it's good to touch the green, green grass of home. And Porter Wagoner sang that song numerous times. Next to Porter's grave is that of Ruth Olive Williams, which was Porter Wagoner's second wife. And it has some verses at the top and also at the bottom, just like Porter's, it talks about, or mentions, I should say, their 3 children's name, which was Richard, Denise, and Deborah. And at the end is a gravesite of his son, Richard Wayne Wagoner. And you can see at the bottom that he served during the Vietnam conflict, and it's also got the American-looking fan type thing on it. And I keep going back as I keep thinking of more things that I need to say about it, because I want to make sure that you realize what a mark that Porter Wagoner left on the country music scene. If you're a Porter Wagoner fan, you know that his band was called the Wagon Master. So Porter Wagoner would be the lead Wagon Master, if you want to say that. But his first band was called the Blue Ridge Boys. And as I mentioned earlier, Porter Wagoner had Dolly Parton as a singing partner, or with his duo singing on his show for several years. But their parting of ways wasn't always as pleasant as you'd like it to be, but they did make up over the years at it. And they said that, and I even saw a video where Dolly Parton made the comment, the song I Will Always Love You was wrote in tribute to Porter Wagoner for all the things he had done for her, getting her a start in music and being a mentor to her, and that it was a little sad that they broke up, but you know, she still loved him for all the things he had done for her. And Dolly Parton did attend Porter Wagoner's funeral, which was held at the Grand Ole Opry, and it said that she led the song of other, you know, with other stars at the funeral of I Saw the Light at that funeral. I keep panning around in the cemetery and at the grave sites so I can mention a few more things about Porter Wagoner, as there's so much to tell, and I forget one thing and then I think of something else that I need to say. Porter Wagoner even performed in a Clint Eastwood movie, The Honky Tonk Man, and so he had many things going on with him as being singer, songwriter, musician, a television show, being in the movies, and also being a dad and grandfather and all those things that family men do. Well, before I close this video, I'll just mention a couple more things about Porter Wagoner, and then I'll quit scanning back and forth on his gravesite and around in the graveyard. Porter Wagoner was a member of the Grand Ole Opry for over 50 years. He was also inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and he also won a Country Music Association Duo of the Year award a couple of times, being the partner with Dolly Parton. And he was also entered into the Hall of Famous Missourians, and that is in their Capitol building in the state of Missouri, of course. And what that entails is they have a bust of the living legend that is from Missouri that they honor, and he is honored along with people such as Betty Grable, Ginger Rogers, Harry S. Truman, and even Walt Disney, and Samuel Clemens, which is better known as Mark Twain. So he's honored in along with some very famous people. And the last thing I'm going to say about this video is going to be just a little bit on his son. I read his obituary, and Richard Wayne Wagoner, it said that he was a member of the Gaylord Entertainment for over 30 years, and that, of course, it also mentioned, as I had earlier, that he was in the Vietnam conflict in the United States Army. So we'll just take a final look at the last grave sites of that, of his second wife and of his son, Richard Wayne Wagoner. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you found out something that you didn't already know about Porter Wagoner. And as always, I thank you so very much for watching my video. And I hope you have a good day.